Hello, welcome to another episode of Optics Trade Debates. My name is Andras.
Hello, I'm Theodor.
We have two thermal clip-on attachments made by Pulsar here on this desk. And today we're going to discuss the differences between them. This is the Proton, which was released just now. And then we have the Krypton, which was released last year in 2020. So both really new, both really fresh, but from different price ranges. Let's just dive into the topic and see what they have to offer. What are the differences, basically?
Well, until now, Pulsar had core devices, so thermal clip-on devices in the series of core for 7-8 years, something like that. And everybody was asking when they will do something new in this segment, and they came out with two different devices because core devices, they were available with 50mm lens, objective lens, and 38mm objective lens. Now they came out with a Proton, which is a 30mm lens, and they came out with a Krypton, which is I think 50mm lens or 42, well, the bigger model. And if we go to the optical properties, so they feature different types of sensors. The Proton has a 388 by 284 pixel sensor with a pixel pitch of 17 microns and an NATD of below 40 millikelvins. So the sensitivity is quite good on this sensor. While the Krypton on the other side as a top-of-the-line model features a 640 by 480 sensor from a different manufacturer than Proton. And it has a pixel pitch of 12 microns. Even though NATD is a little bit worse, it's 50. We always thought it's 40, but in reality now when we checked everything and
it's actually 50. Yeah.
But still, the image quality normally on the Proton is better than on the Krypton is better than on the Proton because of the high resolution. Also, the lens is bigger, and what is also very different is that the Proton doesn't feature zoom or focusing option. It doesn't have any focus. It's
basically a fixed focus
on 100 meters.
Yeah,
they say
no focusing anywhere.
The Krypton on the other side, you are able to focus it with a knob on top. What else is different when we talk about optical properties? The Krypton features a much bigger display, so it's 1746
by 1000.
Yeah, so much bigger. This one is 960. No, 900.
It's 1024 by 768.
Yeah, I apologize. So it's a lot smaller display in terms of resolution. That means that you are able to use higher magnification on Krypton than you are on the Proton. And in reality, you see this immediately when you go above 5 times magnification in your daytime optics. With Krypton, there is no problem. You don't see any pixels or anything. With Proton 6, 7, you already see pixels. With Krypton, you're still okay. So it is noticeable.
I want to point out here that both feature an AMOLED display, so they can even withstand really low temperatures down to minus 25, I think. You still can expect them to work, which is quite amazing. And they both feature a waterproof body. I think they are IPX7 both certified.
They're also, the bodies in both cases are made out of magnesium, even though I would say fit and finish is nicer, more appealing on the Proton. Because on Krypton you see the whole body and so on is almost identical to forward F455. Also the button position is on top, while on Proton is on the side. And for me personally, this on the side with a rotating button is a better option.
I'd also like the more intuitive placement of the buttons here. You do everything with the menu with this button, which can also be turned. Really easy. Then we have the power button and we have the recording button. You can quickly memorize their functions. It's really simple.
It's really easy. Both of them also need re-zeroing for the first time. And they have the same system. You go into the menu and you just change or move the point of impact. Really easy, especially compared to the core series. It's now zeroing of both of these devices is
much easier.
Even a child could do it.
So you basically have to align the center of the display with the center of the reticle.
Yeah. And move the point of impact into the center of the reticle. So in this aspect, it's everything is quite easy. Now, optically, honestly, the Krypton is better, but it's also far more expensive. This is a roughly 2,500 euros for the Proton, 2,600 euros. This is 4,200 euros. So it's a lot more expensive, and you get better image quality for it. Understandable. What about if we talk about the physical properties?
Yeah, we already mentioned a couple of things like the form, the finish is maybe slightly better on the Proton.
The batteries.
The batteries, yeah. So we have different batteries. We have the APS-5 battery included with the Proton. We basically get two batteries. This is the first Pulsar clip-on to have two batteries included. And I think that they recognize the potential of people going into the field and then running out of the battery and then being able to quickly switch it. So you have 6 hours, I think, up to 6-7 hours maybe on a single
6
battery.
hours, quite. And the Krypton comes in IPS batteries. IPS-7 is included, is also around 7 hours. When you start using Pulsar devices with these interchangeable batteries, it's really hard to go back to any other system of storing the energy.
Of course, I think that the biggest problem with competitive devices is that they have integrated batteries.
Yeah.
And when you run out of the battery, you can only use a power bank if you're still in the field.
Yeah.
And if in a couple of years the battery will slowly die out and it won't last as long. So
I would say generally those devices from competitors which have internally built batteries, after 3 years, 4 years, you have to send them back to the service so that they change the battery. With Pulsar, you just go and buy an IPS battery for less than 100 euros or IPS battery, APS battery for less than 50 euros. So it's really, really smart.
we do have to point out that with this system here, it might be a little bit tricky if you're wearing gloves to remove the battery from its compartment because the contact surface here is really small.
Yeah, it's easier with Krypton.
Even though I really like the solution because it's simple to install in a matter of seconds and then easy to just get it out, like so.
Krypton is already quite light and compact, but Proton is out of this world, how small it is.
Yeah, definitely.
How light. What is also an advantage of Proton, if you have iron sights on your rifle, the Proton is mounted much higher than the Krypton. So in some cases you will be able to mount the Proton, but you will not be able to mount Krypton. Both of them feature new thread for the adapters.
It's no longer a bayonet like it was on the core devices.
But they have a small bayonet at the end of the thread for the monoculars. And honestly speaking, majority, at least in our shop, but also elsewhere in Europe, people go for this reducing rings from Smart Clip or Rusan, usually Smart Clip now lately, and then they use Rusan or Smart Clip adapters.
And I can see why it's, first of all, it's elegant. Second of all, it's really fixed in place.
And it's a high quality solution. Both Rusan and Smart Clip, they offer either fixed reducing rings or movable or centering reducing rings, similar like the original PSP solution.
So PSP is what Pulsar calls basically this thread or
the
mounting.
PSP it's a great system, it's a great adapter. I just think that when somebody is paying 4,200 euros for it, they prefer the design of Smart Clip.
Yeah, I think it's,
and the fit and finish.
It's twice the price of the original Pulsar adapter, but you also get
really high quality.
Much better quality, yeah.
It's such a nice fit and finish, and people which are buying so expensive devices really do care about the aesthetics of the adapters. I do think this is a much better solution than the previous Pulsar solutions, like the adapter with 2 pins on core devices or with 4 pins on forward devices. I would even like it more if they would just go to the thread which is standard on all Rusan and Pulsar, Rusan and Smart Clip adapters directly, like I did it, for instance, because there are so many of these adapters in the market already. I know the sales numbers for European Union, they're just crazy.
The Krypton still uses the micro USB port.
Yeah.
while the Proton uses the USB Type-C
Port,
yeah, so
they're both IPX7 waterproof,
exactly.
and they both withstand 375 Holland recoil. So
really high recoil.
you can put it on any rifle. I am using the Krypton on 375, 338 Lapua Magnum, and without a problem. So it really works.
And you also get a battery charger with the Proton, whereas with the Krypton
You get also a
you
battery
get
charger.
also a battery charger, but of a different type, right?
Yeah.
You can only charge
One battery.
one battery. Here you can charge two.
Okay, let's go to the multimedia, Wi-Fi, connecting to smartphone and all of this stuff.
Yeah, we're after all in the 21st century, where having the ability to share your moments with hunting friends and so on is, for most people, really important.
True.
And this is why both of these devices have multimedia capabilities. Both are able to capture images, record videos. You can also, they have Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can connect them to a smartphone app. If you have Android or iOS operating systems, you can just download Stream Vision. Stream Vision is still one of the best apps in this field.
I think that it's still the best.
Yeah.
All others are catching up, but they are still not there.
And Pulsar is working on it all the time, bringing upgrades, introducing several language packs and so on.
We spoke before about what a big advantage it is to have an interchangeable battery, not only for the ease of use, but also for longevity of the device. Because when the battery dies, you just buy a new one, which is inexpensive, and
Yeah,
the device is
exactly
fresh again. But what is also important, you're able to update the software in both of these two devices to get really good image rendering, better image rendering every couple of years, because Pulsar is doing this. They're upgrading all of their devices every second year or something
And
like
it's
that.
really easy, because with some devices that didn't have Wi-Fi connectivity, you had to use a cable, and updating was not that easy for most people.
True.
Now you have Wi-Fi, so you can just go to the update and do it with the smartphone app. You can just connect the devices, and with a single click, you have the update on the device.
So
really simple.
Again, like with Core, these are long-living devices.
Yes.
Really well-made, durable, and so on. Long warranty, 3 years. Interchangeable batteries. If the battery dies, because this is the weakest part of the device, of any device in the modern world, to be honest. Really good service. So even when the warranty runs out, you're still able to count on servicing your
The
device.
warranty, I think, is 3 years.
Yeah,
But both.
we know that they are servicing also older devices without a problem. So I would say a solid investment. And that brings us to the market positioning. So 2,500 euros, a little bit more. I would say this is an entry level at the moment for thermals, and 4,200 euros, which is, I would say, almost top of the line.
And
There are other more expensive devices out there, but honestly speaking, they don't fare that well with this Pulsar Krypton. Krypton is really, when you start using it, when you see the optical quality, when you see all the features and so on,
Yeah, you want it.
It's really, really competitive device, honestly speaking.
And Core is now waving us goodbye,
Yeah.
I think,
It
after
was positioned
plenty
between
of
these
years.
two. Yeah, it was. For I would say
left
for the last,
quite a heritage.
yeah, for the last 5 years, it was really the best-selling thermal clip-on device on the market, at least in our part of Europe. Okay.
I think that with both cases, you have an option of either buying the model without the monocular
Or
with it, and the price difference is
100
euros, roughly.
And yeah, then what is a big change, again, a very positive change, that you're able to use the monocular through the adapter. So
with
that-
both models,
yeah,
in
so
contrast to Core, where you weren't able
yeah.
to do that.
So let's say that you have I will show it like this. Unfortunately, now we took two models without the monocular.
Yes.
But let's say this is the setup for your daytime scope. You put the monocular through the adapter and the reducing ring, and you're able to use it as a handheld observation device. Then you just remove the monocular and put it on a daytime scope, and you're able to
So
shoot
you
with
don't
it.
have to remove all this.
Yeah,
That's
a very smart solution from Pulsar, and a lot of aftermarket solutions of this type are already present on the market. A lot, but now there will be no need for them anymore.
What I perhaps, I don't know, if you look at it as a disadvantage, both devices have these covers unattached to the housing, making it quite easy to lose them, especially this smaller caps
Proton, yeah.
from Proton. Yeah.
I think this will be. I'm sure that half of all the users will lose this.
I'm pretty sure myself as well. Yeah.
So this was an advantage of Core, which has attached lens covers. Okay, did anything was left for?
If there is anything left, you can remind us by leaving a comment down below. We'll gladly help you. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, check out our other videos, and see you next time.
See you next
Take
time.
care.